All right, welcome to Good Morning Shrewsbury, our annual. It's getting to be the Kentucky Derby show and the Super Bowl show. Terry Wallace joining us here tonight, as he always does, to give us the words of wisdom. And I don't think he's ever lost, has he? Have you ever lost?
I don't think I've ever won with the predictions, to be honest with you.
No,
I appreciate the nice comments.
No.
I think my strategy and stuff is really good until actually the game hits. And then, well, they didn't do this, they didn't do that, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. I picked the score last year, but it was the wrong. I picked the Bengals to win. So.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Sure.
The Kansas City game.
Yes.
Do-overs and
what was that?
penalty flags
Oh, my
everywhere.
God.
What was
Yeah,
going
the referee. There's
It
something.
made it look
Like it was rigged.
It was
like it
fixed.
was rigged.
Yeah, it did.
It did make
It's,
it look like it was rigged.
I couldn't believe it. I've never seen a do-over in the NFL.
No.
Ever in my life.
Well, they showed the ref
Yeah.
who like took 10 steps toward to like stop it, but never threw up his hands, never
Right.
waved.
So
he just
so
stopped.
if the snap comes,
Yeah.
the play should go.
Right, that's what I saw.
Yeah. And again, let's be fair here, okay? Mahomes, when he ran, was it a penalty? Yes. But I got to tell you, sometimes as an official, you got to know the situation there. If he calls that, game's over. You
Right.
know? So,
Right.
I mean, was
Which
it?
one? The one where
No,
Yeah, when we got pushed out of bounds. Yeah.
So here's my thing with this. Was it malicious intent by that player? Absolutely not.
No.
He was just going or whatever like that. Was the overline? Yes. Was it a penalty? Let it lie? Yes. But do you call it there? It's kind of like in the NBA, right? When you it's a 1-point game in Game 7 of the championship series, and a guy gets hit like that. Do you call a foul?
Yeah.
But
Is that how you want to lose a game?
No.
Is that how you want the game to end? No.
I didn't. And again,
No.
right call, but I didn't like it.
My heart broke for that poor guy sitting
Yeah.
on the
Oh,
bench.
everybody.
Grown
Well,
man.
if you're a sportsman,
crying
yeah.
his eyes out on the bench, thinking that, oh my God,
cost
I
us-
cost us the game.
And he had a fabulous game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
Fabulous game, But that's actually gratifying to see because it shows you how much these guys who are paid all this money really care.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're really a kid playing football. You're just getting compensated very highly,
Right.
So that was
You're
good.
a freak.
Yeah.
You're a freak. They're all freaks. They really
Yeah.
are. It's amazing. Sometimes, though, I'm watching the game, and you're going to appreciate what I'm about to say. I hear this voice in my head saying, "It's fixed. I don't care what you say, Johnny. It's fixed." My cousin Dennis used to say that all the time. He said the NFL is rigged.
Dennis,
Sometimes it seems
You
that
got to
way.
believe in some games. You got to believe it is.
it's kind of scary, Bob, sometimes how
Oh,
the
I
things
look
that
at
happen.
it, Terry, and
I love tennis. Oh, my God. Tennis Sunday, my God. I remember that. Things you remember. That was hilarious.
but
yeah,
no,
some
no.
classics.
But if you rationally sit down and think about how much money is bet on football,
Oh, it's unbelievable.
right?
God.
I mean,
Super Bowl always
yeah,
billions of dollars.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if Terry ever saw the picture that's out in the hallway out there.
Oh, I'm sure he did. Shut up. All right, so AFC, NFC.
Out when he-
I'm not going to lie. I really wanted to see San Francisco against Cincinnati.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
I did too.
I really
too.
wanted to
Yeah.
see that one.
Right.
I think Burrow. You can, people say they don't like him, all this stuff, but he is Joe Cool, and most of the time he comes through. I think he's that good, and the Brock Purdy thing that would have just added
Fabulous.
so much intrigue to the game. He was 6-0 and all this stuff. I think that would have been fabulous. So instead, we got Patrick Mahomes, who I feel sometimes that the NFL kind of shoves him down your throat. That's my opinion. And Jalen Hurts, who's been quiet but had a tremendous year. I think it's going to be a heck of a game. I really do.
Well, you look at it. My head's kind of it hurts a little bit because of this. No, Jalen Hurts, no pun intended. How many times in your lifetime are you going to see Patrick Mahomes as an underdog?
True.
Probably count on one hand.
Yeah, sure.
But I can't stand Kansas City. But I don't like anything from Philly either. So it's like what worse do I want? This yuck or this yuck?
That's what Sue said to me
I'm
today
telling
before.
you.
She goes, "What team
I
are you
mean,
picking?"
how can you?
I said, "I
how
hate
can
both
you
of
cheer
them."
for Philly?
You
If
can't.
you're from here, you just
you
can't.
can't. Neither one
It'd be
of
like the
them.
Giants or Jets in there.
That's right.
Well,
That's right. But people also say, and I don't know if there's Philadelphia people that live in Shrewsbury, but they say their fans are the worst fans in as being obnoxious. And
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They threw
I think they
snowballs
are.
at Santa Claus.
That's right.
I mean, right?
Yeah, they are
They
bad.
did.
You know?
Remember the hockey games when they used to play the
Oh
Bruins?
yeah.
Oh.
Schultz.
I mean, it was
Dave
yeah,
Schultz.
it was just
I know.
They just brought
let
him to hurt people.
All right.
city of
I digress
Brooklyn
on one thing. Did you hear Malcolm Butler the other day?
No.
No.
Malcolm Butler got interviewed. So it was on.
Yeah. ESPN.
No, it was on like the Sports Hub or WE. I can't remember which one.
oh.
And someone asked him, "All right, now you're gone, whatever, like that. What happened?"
Oh yeah.
And he said, "Coach's decision." He said, "However, I have a documentary and a book coming out, and that's when I'm going to spill the beans." Oh, I got chills. I went, "Whoa!" Right? Because everybody's like, "What happened?" You know?
Yeah.
So
something.
that'll
yeah.
be something.
Yeah, because we never heard really what happened with
I
that.
think he went after Linda.
What after
He went after Linda. Linda who? Belichick's girlfriend.
my
I
my
think
theory was
Hold on,
he
it had to be something
he came
relatively
into the meeting
heinous
or missed the
because
meeting.
you know.
something off the field.
was told he was not going to start the game, and then he had it out with one of the coaches.
Possible.
That was my.
That makes a lot of sense,
was
Bob,
not gonna
actually.
start,
because
but-
listen,
when he did that, then
Belichick's a stubborn guy, and he's the goat, all that stuff. Give it all to him. However, he's not stupid.
Right.
You come in at halftime and you're getting torched by Nick Foles.
Oh, God.
And your corner, who's played 98% of your snaps, hasn't played yet.
Yeah.
Maybe you say, you know what, I got to put my pride aside and put him in the game, because if I don't and we lose, that'll be against me forever.
yeah, and it is.
Terry, why haven't the other players come out
Yeah,
and said
that's
it?
true.
I don't know.
Those that have retired.
Well, you know, Billy,
They
it's-
all drink the Kool-Aid.
We're all going to.
well, that and it's a lot of times you don't want to burn a bridge if you're still playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If people, I'm surprised that people who aren't playing anymore kind of said, because that would be such a coup to say, to anybody, but it's going to come out. It really is. I just don't know what it is, but it had
I
to be
would think
something
it
bad.
would have something to do with the crafts then. Maybe.
It could have been. I mean,
think? I don't
there was
know.
lots of rumors. One was like he had it out with Stephen Belichick or something
Yeah,
with his
that's right.
family. Maybe with who knows. But it had to be, because I think of it as a coach. And I had to bench a few people, very seldom though, just because they were late for this or that, whatever like that. But it was never for a game. It was always for a quarter.
Yeah. Right.
And then okay, you've learned your lesson, and now you'll never do it again. And they did, and they didn't. But because the other thing too, his mantra is, "I'm going to do what's best for the team."
Always.
How do you look at the
Yeah,
other
right.
52 guys and
that's
say
what he was
that was
saying.
not best for the team? I'm sorry. Even if for some reason he wasn't playing good, he wasn't in the game plan, you go to the guys who rode you there. You've done 98% of the snaps. You don't all of a sudden the Super Bowl say, you know what? Let's
You're
pull
not
him.
good enough. Yeah.
No way. You just don't. I've never.
sad.
We
Plus, he
just
won
had
that
to
Super
be.
Bowl for him 2 years before that.
He sure did.
Yeah.
He sure did. How did they not give the ball to Marshawn Lynch? And,
I don't know.
I know. So
it's just-
stupid. All right. I mean, we haven't
Matt Ryan
talked.
not
We
taking a
haven't.
knee.
We haven't been together. What's your thoughts? Going back to the Patriots, because we got plenty of time.
Yep.
On Mac, what do you think?
Well, it's hard to say because I mean he did well his first year, but listen, no disrespect to anyone who coaches football, but I got to tell you, think about it like that. I'll put it on a level that I had. Okay, so let's go with train Bobby Cosenza or Butter. Great defensive coaches. I was blessed to have all three of them. They all did a great job for me. Okay, all of a sudden in the offseason, I said, you know what? I feel like calling the defense this year. Bobby, why don't you call the offense?
I know.
And then so the kids would, if I was a quarterback coach, question, why is Coach Cosenza calling the offense? He called the defense. I just have a hunch.
So why do you think he did it?
Okay, well, here's the deal. They were cheap. And ready? Here's the thing. And
You didn't have to pay him, right?
right? And I'm Bill Belichick, and no matter what I do, it's going to work. And he made the statement, all coaches can coach either offense or defense. In theory, that's
I don't
true.
believe that.
Listen, if Sean Mulcahy from Dari said, hey, I want you to call a defense next year, could I do it? Yeah. Would I be good at it? No, probably not.
Yeah, right.
I'm here telling you, because I'm more slanted towards
You
offense.
would be blitzing every play.
Every play. My God.
You would defend
The Blitz pie chart, 100%.
You would defend the jet sweep.
Yes, I would. And then I'd say, how dare you run that play? It never works.
Damn Jets.
Yeah, but no, you can't say Patricia's going to know the playbook.
Yeah.
Like
So-
what's his name before?
Exactly.
You
Nick.
just can't.
And then you're
There's
Mac
no
Brown.
way.
You're Mac Brown. You have a Pro Bowl. Well, you know, went there, whatever. Decent first year with Josh
Oh,
McDaniels.
Mac Jones.
Mac
Nick-
Jones.
Nick-
Mac
yeah,
Jones.
Nick-
I'm sorry. Mac Jones, right? And you come back, and the guy who was a defensive coordinator is calling the offense.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Matt Patricia, brilliant man, you know, good
MIT boy.
Right. But if he's calling the plays and you're saying to yourself, why the heck are we doing this? That's a problem.
Yeah.
How about the fact that his tight ends were basically non-existent, and he maybe had one wide receiver that he could trust, and, and he's an undrafted free agent.
Agreed.
How much of that is true? Now, don't get me wrong. I think Ramondre Stevenson was the real deal.
He was.
I think he played fabulous.
Plays hard. He
Yeah,
runs
he
hard.
just runs hard.
Finishes well.
But he had nobody else to throw it to.
So John, great point. Think about the NFL. Let's think about the two teams in this game. Who's Patrick Mahomes' go-to guy?
Kelsey.
Where does he play?
Tight end.
Tight
Tight
end.
end.
Eagles got a great tight end.
Go-
Burrow
Goder.
had a great tight end.
Goder, yeah.
See what I'm saying? Keep
Kittle.
going down. Kittle, right.
Yeah.
Kittle was
Yeah.
all pro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the point of the matter is the whole
Even
NFL.
Burrow's tight end was great.
That's what I'm saying. He was really Hurst. Fabulous.
But who
Fabulous.
started all that? It was Gronkowski
Gronkowski,
and Brady.
well,
Right.
They
Probably even
Well,
before.
back
Francis.
then when they used Hernandez and Gronkowski, because here's the problem now for people, you schematically bring it up, okay? So in football, you have wide receivers, okay? The corners cover the outside guy, one of the safeties covers the inside guy.
Then you got a linebacker on the
And then you have a
corner.
linebacker on a, and if you use two tight ends, you have two linebackers on it. So you say to yourself, oh, okay, that guy can't cover. I'm going to go to him. It's not rocket science.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh, with Fernandez and Gronkowski was out there.
Hernandez,
it was
yeah.
a nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
It was.
It was a nightmare.
Yeah, you couldn't cover him.
Well, they both had wide receiver speed,
Right.
and they're going against linebackers. It's-
In the NFL now, they play so much nickel and dime with 5 or 6 backs. Okay, you bring a corner in. Okay, but if you're a corner, you're 5'7", 190. You're trying to cover Rob Gronkowski. You can't do it.
260.
And Hernandez was big too, and that's what all teams are doing. And
They saw it work with the Patriots, and they just followed suit.
Copycat league, it always
Yeah.
is.
plus, the other thing too with tight ends, think about it. Where if they're inside the numbers, where are they going on the pass patterns? Okay, usually in the middle. So think about it from. So I'm a quarterback. I'm in the pocket. I'm throwing down the middle, a lot shorter pass than throwing to like an out or something like that. You know, and plus it's like basketball. All right. So if you come up like 10 yards and turn around, and you got a guy behind you, he's not going to get through you if you're 6'5", 260.
Right.
You know, but if you're a wide receiver, 5'9", 180, he could go through you. You know, it just
Close enough.
So going from where we are now, what we saw this past year,
Right.
now you bring in Bill O'Brien,
Right.
right? Who the guy's done it before,
Yeah.
right? He's a former head coach. You know, how much does he have an impact? Is he
Huge.
going to have
Huge.
on Mac Jones is coming?
Well, here's the thing, Nick. Okay, he has instant credibility in the room. He's been a head coach. He's been successful. He's been in New England, won a Super Bowl. Okay, so if you're standing, it was kind of like, you know, not to bring up the past, but I would say to my kids at Shrewsbury, hey, I know we're playing Leominster High, but making a game in the fourth quarter will find a way. And if you keep doing that, they buy into it. So Billy O'Brien can address the offense and say, hey, look, I've been to Super Bowl. I've been a head coach. I got all this. Okay, I'll have a plan. Let's just follow it. And the guys are like, yes. Matt Patricia gets up to him last year, and Joe Judge, and they're like, yeah. How you buying into that?
Right.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah,
You know,
I coached
so.
Detroit. I know how to win.
Terry, now O'Brien's going to be coordinating the offensive line coach,
Yes.
wide receivers coach.
Yes.
They're all
Under him.
under him.
Yes. Yep.
So it's going to be all Bob this year.
Did he get a quarterback coach yet?
He'll be the quarterback coach.
He will be the
Yep.
quarterback coach.
Yep, definitely. A lot of times, offensive quarterback, Josh was, a lot of times they're the pseudo quarterback coach if they have somebody. Sometimes they have a guy who just works with the quarterbacks, but normally an offensive coordinator will work
Yeah.
directly with the quarterback because he's the focal point of calling the plays.
See, I thought, in my mind anyways, I thought defensively,
Yep.
we could make a run into the playoffs.
I agree, John. I agree.
But offensively,
We were in it.
we weren't there.
Do you remember the Jets game?
Yeah.
It was 3-3, and they ran a punt back to win 10-3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I'd be watching the game and go, this is painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Awful.
When does Belichick go on the hot seat?
Well, I think
He's already started.
he's, well,
How much more slack does Kraft give him?
None. he stays as long as he wins his. He gets ahead of Shula.
Right.
And then
Well,
that's
he's only
it.
got one more. Once
No, he
one
needs
or two.
17, 18
17.
wins.
Oh, he
He
needs that
probably
He
needs
needs 2
full
seasons.
you know.
2 decent seasons.
Yeah, so that's a tough call for Kraft. I mean, on one hand, he's probably saying, "Geez, look at us now where we were," and on the other hand, you know,
Right.
if
That's
you
that's
wanna-
my point,
You want to
Terry.
have Belichick go and get the record somewhere
That-
else.
But
That's-
you know what, Terry? You're old enough to remember. You guys
Sure
all
am.
are.
Good.
The day after that debacle, when we threw the backwards pass and it was picked off and run in for who was that against? I don't even remember.
The Raiders.
Raiders.
The Raiders.
Yeah,
The next day,
would have gone
the
overtime.
next day, and I'm not a Twitter guy, but I was on Twitter and I saw Jerry Callahan. I said, "Oh, I wonder what he said." Jerry Callahan said, "Well, people, this is the way it always was," and he was absolutely right.
Right.
Anything that could go wrong back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, that's what happened.
And to your point, John, this is what we used to say. Oh, that's what the other teams do, right?
Yep.
Right, another team would do it like, oh, see, we don't do stuff like that, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
And I was watching it. I went, oh my god. As soon as that happened, my brother Timmy called me. He goes, "Are you kidding
I
me?"
know. A Belichick team doing that.
This is not an easy schedule next year. Either.
No.
No,
It's
I
very
know. They got a
difficult.
tough.
It's brutal.
I saw that.
Plus the problem now too, you know, it's like culture. You know, I mean, these guys right now, the core of these guys really haven't won.
Right.
It's hard. I mean, once you get it going, you know, you can sell it, but it's hard to get it going. You know, so and again, like Billy says, they got a tough schedule, and
Because now they're competing for 3rd place in the division.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
you know what the scary stat is? It's a scoring league, and what's Mac Jones? He's never won a game that the other team scored more than 24.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of teams score more than 24. You know, so that's concerning too.
You're right. It is a concern, and I'm concerned about that.
Right.
But here's my big but. Give
Oh,
me
you got a
some
big
wide receivers like C.D. Lamb and Jamar Chase and Brown for Philadelphia. Hill.
Yeah, Devontae Adams.
Waddle.
Yeah,
Devontae. You know, well, who do we have?
Right.
We could have had Chubb.
So who do you go after in the draft this year? Linemen?
Got to have
Receivers.
Gotta
Yeah,
gotta have linemen. His lineman
Got to protect
stinks.
the poor guy.
Right. And John, you're so right about the thing, because, you know, what people don't understand, like a guy like Devontae Adams, say he catches 5 balls. Oh, he didn't have a good game. But you watch the film, he's double teamed
Every
90% of the
time.
time.
Every
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
So you say, wait a minute. So this other guy caught 10 passes because he was double teamed. See, people don't, you know, all stat hungry. Oh, wow, what do you do? You know, fantasy football.
Yep.
But as a coach, you say, well, I can have Devontae Adams. I put him on one side. I take 2 guys. So now I'm playing 10 on 9.
Yep.
You know, so
Last question. You bring in Andre Hopkins?
him and O'Brien don't get along.
No.
Oh God, no! He sent him out of Houston. That's the problem. I love DeAndre Hopkins, you know, but again, here's the other problem to DeAndre Hopkins: great receiver, kind of old, and is he going to be a kind of guy that says, you know what, I need like this, you know, what do they call it, time off or whatever like that in practice, you know, where you need the reps to really get used to a throw, you know. But talent-wise, no brainer. But O'Brien, I don't know, that would be kind of weird.
I do the eye test and I look at these other wide receivers with great speed, great height, and I look at ours and I go, no wonder we can't
But
win.
we've really never had a wide receiver.
Randy Moss,
Yeah.
1 year.
Yeah, Randy Moss.
And they
yeah.
broke the touchdown record with Brady.
But you're right, Nick. But we had the guy that made every
I
single
know.
person around him.
Edelman or Westwood.
You know.
No, he's talking about Brady.
Brady.
Oh,
No,
yeah, yeah,
Brady,
no, I
you
know,
what
but
mean?
those guys.
Right, they were not. John, to your point, did you see the catch like T. Higgins made?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, yeah.
so
That was
here's the beauty of
insane.
that. Here's the beauty of that. If you're the coach or the quarterback, you say, "Listen, I don't care if you're covered. I'm going to throw it to you anyway."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and here you can't. I love what he said. Do you hear what he said?
Chris Campbell.
T. Higgins.
Chris Campbell all over again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just throw the ball.
Hell of a player for Shrewsbury. Absolutely. T. Higgins. So when you talk football, right, you talk about, oh, he's really going to get the 50-50 balls. T. Higgins goes, it's not 50-50, it's 80-20. I love that, you know?
Yeah.
And,
That's true, too.
Yeah, Cincinnati's scary. Their offense,
Yeah.
Burrow's
He's a free agent.
Burrow's awesome.
T. Higgins.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
would like to get
I wouldn't
him.
mind
Oh,
having
God,
him.
yeah. Because that's a matchup nightmare. There's no 6'4" corners.
No,
there's just not.
Well,
He
it's
jumps
like
out.
Chase. Chase is the same
Oh,
way.
Chase is
With the speed
Chase
and
is-
the size.
Chase is
How
unbelievable.
do you get guys like that?
You draft them rather than drafting Joe
Cincinnati-
Blow from
Cincinnati
Kokomo.
had like 18 number one draft picks because they sucked.
We only got 9 minutes.
I know.
They
we
were
gotta
like
talk.
Cleveland.
I know. All right, we're gonna talk
Cleveland
about
never
the game.
cashed them in. They did.
All right, I'll go for it. You want me to go first?
Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
Okay, I'm gonna go first.
I disagree.
Yeah, no matter what I say, you're going to pick the other team. I really think defense wins games like this. And I personally think Philadelphia's defense is better than the overall offense of Kansas City. I'm going to take Philly. I think Philly's going to win.
What do you think the score's going to be?
Probably, I think it's going to be close. I think it's
Yeah.
something like 31-28, something like that.
Excellent.
Okay.
I disagree.
Of
I'm
course you do.
going with Kansas City.
All right, everybody bet the house
Yeah,
on Philly.
yeah.
I'm thinking Kansas City.
Barbaro's running
And my
back for
score
Kansas
is 36-30.
Nice.
I'm going with it.
Okay, what do you got reason wise?
Yeah,
Why
no
you
reason.
why you pick just your gut feel?
No, well, I think Mahomes is Mahomes. I don't know if you guys have ever
been
seen him
hurt,
play.
though.
Have you ever
He's been
seen
hurt.
Doesn't matter. He's had 2 weeks to heal. I think he's got a great coach that doesn't lose too often after he gets a bye week. So I just think Kansas City. I'm going with Mahomes.
Bobby,
I'm
let's go
betting
down to Boston tomorrow and bet on Philly.
I'll jump. I agree with John.
Oh, God, no.
Yes. I think Philly's offense can score against anybody. I think they have Hurts, they have Sanders. They actually have 3 running backs: Boston and what's the Gainwell or whatever his name.
Yeah,
is.
Yep,
Gainwell.
he's good too.
He is
They
good.
got Goddard, the tight end, A.J. Brown. I think they got all the weapons offensively, and they proved that against San Francisco. They scored 31 points, and I thought what was the best defensive team in the NFL.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's an issue of them scoring. I do think that there's question
Yeah, I
marks on
think they'll
Kansas
score.
City.
I agree.
I think that Mahomes, although you say he's healthy, he's had 2 weeks to heal. I don't think that heals in 2 weeks.
Not a high
I think
ankle sprain.
I think he'll be fine.
I don't know. He was limping at the last game, toward the end of the game, and I think he might be limping again.
Billy's over there. He's changing his mind.
No,
So
I'm
I got
changing my
Philly.
mind.
I got Philly, 34-24.
Nice.
Now for the winner.
You're a winner, all right.
Matt Patricia.
Experience means everything in
Wait
this
a
game.
minute. What are your
Shut up.
numbers?
It's my
What
turn.
are your numbers? That's what
Be
you're going to
quiet. It's my turn.
Oh boy.
Experience means everything in this game. They got a coach who's been in that game 4 or 5 times already, I think. Reed. They got a quarterback who's been there at least 3 times already. If it comes down to the end of the game and it's close, I'm going Kansas City. There's no question in my mind. They got the experience, they got the talent, and I just got to go with Kansas City. And I'm, much to my son's regret, I say, I got to include my numbers that really stink. 29 to 22.
Oh boy. Gotta hope like 2-point conversions.
Don't miss an extra point. You'll be in.
All right, the other decider here.
Yeah, wow.
It's 2-2.
Oh, it is 2-2.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wow, a lot of pressure. Jeez, I don't do well in pressure. I love pressure. So, good factors about experience. That is a big thing. But at the end of the day, gentlemen, football from Pop Warner to the NFL is won by the offense and defensive lines. And I think Philadelphia can here's the number that I want you to look at, and you say, that crazy guy, my God, 7. Here's the number. The key for Philadelphia is we're going to give Kansas City 7 possessions. We're going to we're going to run the ball, burn the clock, 7 possessions, and you know what? You got to stop them 3 to 4 times. They're going to score 3 times at least. Okay, and if that happens, they're going to win the game. So if you see the possession like 39 to 21 or something like that, and what will happen is if Philly jumps out, Mahomes can score from anywhere. There's no question about it. But all of a sudden, and you get kind of frustrated on offense, and the defense will get tired if you're going on 8 and 9 minute drives, which they can do not only running the ball, but Hurts can run it and a play action, bootlegs and stuff. So 7's the key. I think if the game is 7 possessions, I think Philadelphia wins 30 to 24. That's what I'm going with.
Not so fast.
That's so fast. Lee Corso.
I think
Super Bowl breath.
the X factor is Kelsey. Whenever,
no doubt.
whenever Mahomes is in trouble,
Right.
that's who he goes to.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
And
it
it-
doesn't
it-
matter where he is on the
pointed out
field.
That you covered him with linebackers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, how can
They're
you-
gonna Philly's defensive scheme is pretty good. They're gonna come up with a wrinkle to try to stop him, but that's easier said than done.
You know what I was amazed at too was you talked about Philly's defense.
Right,
5 guys on their defensive line had double-digit sacks.
right. So
They're
That's-
good.
that's never
There's no
been done.
denying
So
that.
that's gonna you're gonna see early in the game. Kansas City's gonna come out and do a lot of like sideways screens to kind of get the linemen running because you're not gonna see a lot of 7-step drops because they don't think they can protect.
Yeah, right.
Because
Yeah,
of that
right.
line.
Yeah,
You
'cause they
know,
get
and
too many
and the beauty of that is it kind of reminds you of the Giants against the Patriots. If you're a defensive guy, your goal is I want to put pressure on the quarterback with the least amount of guys. So if you can get it with 4, that means I got 7 guys back. You can only send out 5.
Right, right.
So I'm 7 on 5. You know, so you can have the greatest 5 receivers in the world, but I still got 2-man advantage, and they can get pressure on them. So you know, we'll see what happens. Mahomes, I'll tell you, I'm kind of with Nick and Bill. Just it's scary. Mahomes,
Yeah.
He's a magician.
he's
a
just
magician.
yeah,
He is.
when the game means the most. I mean, he
does.
just
He
just
throws,
He throws
lefty,
underhand,
He
lefty.
does whatever he needs to
he
do.
does it
Yeah,
side
I
on.
agree, and that's
he does.
That's
he
it.
does.
the ball.
Let's put it this way: if it's a 3-point game, or say it's a 2-point game, and Kansas City's got the ball at the end, I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
I would put my money on Kansas City.
I agree.
But I'm hoping it doesn't. I think Phil. And I can't believe I'm picking Philly.
Me either. I couldn't believe it either when I thought.
But I think
hit Philly.
7's the key number for possessions. You know, people don't think about that, but you know, so
No, you're right.
right. So if even if Kansas City scores 4 out of 7, the most they can score is 28. You know, and I think Philly will score more. KC's defense has been playing better, but they're very susceptible to the run.
Yeah.
and that's Philly's
that's
strength.
what they
And their,
love.
their offensive line. Just watch their offensive. They're nasty people.
Yeah,
They're
they
road
are.
graders. I mean, they really are. I mean, to Bob's point, San Francisco defense was
Good.
almost historic.
Yeah.
And if you, it was like a board drill. They were knocking guys 5 yards back.
Right.
And I know their offense. I mean, they're not the 8th string quarterback. You know, not there, but still the defense was healthy, and they killed them.
Yeah, they did.
So
They did.
I really think that's what swayed me to because I hate Philadelphia.
I do too.
I do.
I think it would have been a different story, though. I think it would have been a little bit closer had it been the game been in San Francisco.
Or they didn't get their
You know,
Right.
and if Purdy did not get hurt.
Purdy didn't get hurt. Purdy
I
was
think
playing.
that once he got hurt, that
Yeah.
game was over.
Right.
Who's the quarterback next year for San Francisco?
Purdy. Scott.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
You think so?
How,
Yeah,
how
I
do
don't
you-
think-
the guy was like 12-1.
I know.
I don't see
Yeah,
what's
What do
his
you
name
do with
coming
Lance?
back.
You let him go?
No, he's the backup. I mean, they all get hurt.
And
Shanahan's
Garoppolo's
offense.
gone.
Garoppolo's
Garoppolo
gone.
will not be back
Yeah.
in San Francisco.
He
No,
won't.
He won't.
Where's he going? Tampa?
He could be L.A. Raiders too.
I think he's going to the Jets.
Oh, you think Jets?
Or Derek Carr, one of those two.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
I
What
thought
happened with
I
Derek?
thought Rodgers would go to the Jets
Rodgers might go to the
Yeah.
Jets. If he goes to Jets, watch out.
because
Well, right,
Bay has to trade him.
The Jets are close. too.
Jets.
They talk about
Yeah,
the Raiders
they
getting
are.
Rodgers too.
Green Bay has
only
to
thing
trade
they're
him.
If Raiders or Jets get Rodgers and he gets motivated, ooh, that could be a
If he
problem.
goes to New York,
Well, right. He's like an ego
Yeah.
maniac. He'd like to go to New York.
He
Absolutely.
would. He would fit right in there.
I don't know where he can go on a dark retreat in New York.
they're not missing much. New York. They're really not.
No, they're good.
They are good.
Yeah, they were good. I said all year, I said, boy, we're going to be fighting to get out of the hole,
Yeah,
out of the cellar.
Yeah,
The-
like Buff's third place. I mean, really. You're not going to be ahead of Buffalo.
Hey, I think
No,
we're out of time
no,
here.
I know.
Miami.
We are just about.
Oh, 10
Thank-
seconds.
It's I know it's the fastest half-hour show we ever do. Thank you so much for
Oh, my
coming on.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Always a
Yeah.
pleasure.
So we got 3 Phillies and 2 Kansas Cities. We'll know about 10:30 Sunday night. Rihanna, are you
Probably
ready?
know by 8:30.
Good morning, goodbye, Shrewsbury.
Good morning, goodbye.
Rihanna, yeah, we'll see Rihanna.
Yeah.